So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And so I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words.
Wow.
I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning if it's talking to their homeboy, but applying that to a written text, 2 paragraphs, and they couldn't do it.
I won't lie. Now it's beginning to make sense. I will see some comments that are actually from Americans, and I'll be struggling to read it because the person could not write it well. And I'll be wondering that this is somebody from America. English is your language. Like English is the only language you know for vast majority of them because America. There's no bilingual. It's not like my place, my country where we have over 200 tribes or 200 languages. Yes, in one country we have over 200 languages. As I am like this. Igbo, I'm Igbo from eastern part of Nigeria. So Igbo is my primary language. I learned Igbo before I learned English. I literally learned English in school. At home, my everybody in the house was speaking Igbo. So when I started school, I started learning English. Yes. Then I know a little bit of Tiv, I know a little bit of Hausa, and now I'm in the western part. So after a while now, I also learn a little bit of Yoruba because I struggle to learn language. If not, I would have known how to speak Yoruba and Hausa very well by now. Even the Tiv, I should have been speaking it very well. Because my dad can speak Hausa. Like if my dad speaks Hausa, you think he's an Hausa man. But I did not speak that way. I took my mom's name, but I'm happy to take my mom's name. My mom is very intelligent. So, but when it comes to language, no. So yeah, what I was saying, I would have been thinking it was so easy for them. I don't know if you get my point. I was thinking it was easy. When I hear some people the way they speak, and I was like, what is this person saying? Are you speaking English? Like, I'll be so dumbfounded. Like, what's happening? Somebody said teachers need to be appreciated more and need to be paid more. This man is amazing. Oh, this is even Charlie Puth, the musician guy. Oh, I tell you, teachers are the league stage. I think it's a global thing, and they are the ones that are forming these people. That are forming the leaders of tomorrow. Imagine seeing your teacher post this after your lesson. You see what this person's concern is. This is what the concern is. And 280,000 people liked it. So somebody said, I really hope they see this. Somebody said, it's not their fault, truly. They are the last ones to be blamed. They are only children. We are supposed to guide them. 18 years old. Okay, you see, this is the problem. They are babying everybody and everything. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. As simple as that. So we say, what happened to getting head back if you didn't pass? This used to be a thing, and this thing, even as when we were little, everybody used to not want to be in this situation because we knew how some persons we met some persons in the class that were supposed not to meet. So everybody was trying their best not to be there. This person say it's not their fault. Let me tell you, as little as we were, everybody was doing their best not to be that person that will be head behind. My mom did not go to school. From primary school, I started doing assignment all by myself. I taught myself how to do my assignments because my mom was taking care of us. Even though she later started learning how to read by reading her Bible. Now my mom can read and write just because she started reading her Bible. I'm not kidding you. My mom reads now and writes now. When I see the words she writes or the words she uses, I'm so amazed. Like, wow, look at my mom. Do you get? And that's my mom. That she didn't go to school. She taught herself by reading Bible. So, and I taught myself as a very, I still remember very little when I started doing homework. And the one thing my mom did for me, she would always ask me, have you done your homework? Even though she was not there, like she couldn't help me. However, she would always make sure I did my homework. Even when my brother started going to school, after I done mine, I would also make sure my brother does his own too. And that made me cultivate this habit of always doing my assignment till I went to university. I never copied anybody's assignment. You see how when people come to school because they didn't do their homework, they'll be copying from others. I was the one people were always copying from because my mom always made sure I did my homework. Of course, after a while, she stopped reminding me because she noticed that I was doing it on my own. I didn't need anybody to tell me to do my homework before I did it. I did my homework by myself. Up until uni, I always made sure I did my homework because I don't want to copy anybody's homework. I always want my homework to, let it be like something I did myself. So there is an essence to which you will be blaming the system or our parents. What happened? Okay, but a few years ago we were doing 5-page essays in high school. What happened?
Teacher in high
You and
school
me
teaching
both.
seniors, and they were doing a reading out loud exercise during school. And he said he broke down in the middle of class. A black male teacher. I didn't see what state it was, but I'm sure you've seen the video if you've been on social media today because it's been everywhere. He broke down in class because there were so many kids in. Black students at that, they couldn't even read four-letter words. Not the four-letter words we grew up not being able to say. The four-letter words I'm sure they use on a daily basis, but the four-letter words that they could not read to save their lives. Now, while I say the EBT education is nothing more than an extension of HBCU culture in America, which is not a good thing, and that predominantly white institutions would never dump themselves down enough to be equal footing as a HBCU, but HBCUs accept these type of characters into their schooling because their standards are so low.
You see, when the standards are constantly lower to accept students, what do you expect? Why should standards of education be lower just so that they can accept students? That should be a no-no anywhere. So the students are meant to match up the standard, not lowering the standards. Now, I work at a high school. They can't read and don't want to learn. All these kids want is to make videos and dress like strippers. I mean, all kids. It's sad. How do their parents not know that their children can't read? What if the parents can't even read and they don't care? Most of these people are just concerned with birthing. They just want to, just most of them are not even married, so they're just birthing in left, right, center. You see one woman having 7 baby daddies. That's where the problem is starting from because the person doesn't even have value to start with. So, what value do you expect that mother to pass on to the child, or a man that is having 7 or 8 baby mamas? What value do you expect from that man to pass on to a child? That is where the fundamental is the foundation is not right to start with. That's where the foundation is being erupted from. When the foundation is not right, what do you expect? And then they will not be saddling the teachers with all this work. And if the teacher is even trying to do their work, they will still be limiting them. No, don't do this, don't do that, don't talk like this, so that they will not be, Well, guys,
The reason we're seeing that teacher, Darius Williams, who teaches high school, crying about the fact that high schoolers cannot read, these high school kids that he's teaching do not have the ability to think, to put what they have, their argument to defend towards a piece of literature, even if it's just a paragraph. He's mourning the fact that these kids are 18, 17, 18, they're graduating, they maybe are going to go to college, and they cannot read, they cannot write. And the reason he is crying is because he is in a state of mourning, because he understands that this is the future of our nation. These are the kids that are supposed to grow up to be doctors and lawyers so that black and brown children have a better shot in this white supremacy world. He's crying because he's mourning the fact that we don't have well, high educated children who can form concepts and thoughts and put together reasoning and understand nuance and context and write it down. Everything is digitized now. He said he didn't understand where the problem is, but I think the problem comes in when you have parents that have to work 1 to 2 jobs. Both parents have to work at least 1 or 2 jobs to make ends meet, to be able to afford basic necessities, groceries, and have money left over for the bills and extra money in case something happens, like the car breaks down or whatever the case may be. Then you have this no child left behind business. This is what happens when teachers and districts are underfunded. This is what happens when we push policies that care more about graduation rates than they do about a child understanding what it is they were supposed to have learned in school before they pass on to the next grade. We went from having kids, millennials, who would write essays, just hallucinating off the top of our domes and write it down. Full 1 to 2 page essays without internet. So now
ha.
kids using AI as their go-to default for how to write an essay, how to answer a question, how to do a job interview, how to do any motherfucking thing. We have kids that spend more time on TikTok than they do reading a book. And I think
And I still blame the parents. Like, as a parent, why are you even giving your underage child a smartphone to start with? Please don't even tell me that, oh, we are not in the 1960s. Because you can literally see the effect of that. You not parenting your child, you can see the effect of it. And I used to say this, that parents are out there doing double jobs, multiple jobs, just so that they can put food on the table, and the children are left unattended. What do we expect will happen? This is the result of it. I wish that they were not giving Chromebooks. I don't know that that's the thing in America. In my school, in my country, children still write on their S-size books, even though they have technology. But technology is not like the larger part of their learning. They still have to write on their books. So I wish that was the case. That even though they are using AI, but as they are forced to copy it from the screen and onto their book, there's something is doing to their brain, but they're not even doing that. So their brain is not even engaged in any way. So are you even telling me that even those children, they're not spending time reading Wattpad? I used to think that Wattpad is like thing that everybody's, especially a lot of girls that love to read out there. That's how I distress. I just go to Wattpad and bury myself there, read books that I like. So are you telling me that even Wattpad, the time will come when they won't have so much customers like that? Because children cannot read and write, and they don't even have time for that. Everybody's on their screen, scrolling, and then they are now fighting themselves in the comments. No wonder, no, because I always wonder how is it that people are so disgusting in the comments. Now I know why, because they can't even reason with their brain. That's why it shows in the way they communicate in the comments. Some of them can't even write to say, or they can't even write to save themselves. You cannot even read what they're writing. Very soon, because of them now. Because of them, all the social media platform be forced to start using audio to respond in comments, because people cannot write again.
This teacher is concerned about his high school students, and I don't blame him. He actually broke down because his students cannot read or write, and they're going off to college not knowing how to read or write. He literally had a mental breakdown. He's trying to figure out, like, yo, what's going on? And I know in his mind he's thinking, oh man, did I fail them, this and that. Let me show y'all a little bit of what he said, and then we gonna talk about it.
30 or something like that. And class, I literally broke down. We had
We've already listened to this.
Have kids or
I want
currently
to hear
have
the
kids,
guy's thoughts.
y'all need to take this video very serious. You really do. Because a lot of people don't think, but this is somebody's teacher. This man teaches a lot of kids. So he's talking about actual kids, actual children, actual young adults, whatever you want to call them. It don't matter. These are people's kids that really don't understand how to do these things. And yes, this is very concerning because this has been going on for a long time. It's just not a lot of teachers out there like himself. What do I mean by that? I mean teachers that actually and genuinely care. It's not a lot.
It's not even the matter of the teachers not caring. A lot of teachers care, but they've been worn down by the system, constantly telling them, we don't need your opinion, we don't need your opinion, do what we tell you, do what you tell you. When you hear that over time, it's bound to affect the way you operate. Besides, their hands are practically tied. There's nothing they can do. Even when they talk to the children, imagine a child in America holding, attacking a teacher because it's not like the way the teacher, spoke to him. What do you expect the teachers to do? Their lives are in danger too. And they could be fired because of if they constantly demand, no, this is not right, let's do the right thing.
I'm sorry, but what the hell do you mean high schoolers cannot read and write? Y'all have this really kind old man teacher crying his eyes out on TikTok because his 12th grade senior class couldn't read, write, whatever. I don't know. What do you mean you can't read and write? Hold on. I was class of 2016, okay? And I very well knew how to write a paper. Papers are what got my college acceptance. I'm sure I could try to attempt to write one now. Why would I? Obviously, when we have AI, but it's those are fundamental skills. And I want to know, is he being over dramatic or dead ass?
How is it being over dramatic when we've been seeing videos of teachers complaining? So I think this is also the problem. A lot of parents don't even know what is happening in their children's life. So they can't even tell if their children can read or write. That's how it has deteriorated. That's how bad it has gotten. Because it shouldn't have taken a teacher to come out to cry to the internet before attention will be drawn to it. And besides, mind you, teachers have been complaining from time immemorial, but nobody did anything, or it didn't raise enough alarm. It took somebody that has somewhat of a following to raise alarm before attention to be drawn to it. So you see why it was necessary. I saw a man that was complaining that the guy was complaining, how is the guy? Why is this guy? Why is he in the classroom teaching children? You see what he has done. Just 2 days of him entering the classroom. Look at how good he has done. Imagine that for a second. Just 2 days. You see why it was necessary for him to go into that classroom and teach. See what his influence has caused. And now I know that some parents will now start touching base with their children. This is why I say it's good. Parents need to wake up. Unless if you don't care how your children pan out, you don't care. Meanwhile, a lot of parents are like that. They don't actually care. They don't care. All they're about is just to fulfill all righteousness that society wants me to have a child. I have a child. That's all they care about. Not everybody is supposed to be a parent. I will always say that. Not everybody is supposed to be a parent. Some people don't know just jack about parenting a child. They've never finished parenting themselves, talking about parenting another human being. Nah. But yeah, do you think it's going to get any better? Do you think this is gonna get better? Imagine you as a student, as a teacher, when the system does not allow you to fail a child. Imagine that because you don't want the parents to come to school and harass the school. Ah, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe. Bye.